So I see we have quite a few more folks who have joined. So maybe we can start with our housekeeping slides and starting with interpretation. And I will invite Tanya from Linguística to provide those instructions.
Thank you, Liz. Buenas tardes a todos. Bienvenidos a su reunión. Queremos recordarles que, como siempre, tenemos la interpretación simultánea disponible para ustedes. La función ya está activada, así que si ustedes ingresaron utilizando una computadora, en la parte de abajo de su menú de Zoom van a ver el icono de un mundo. Por favor, seleccionen ese icono y seleccionen español. También pueden silenciar el audio original para que nada más escuchen la voz del intérprete. Si ustedes ingresaron con un teléfono móvil, una tableta, un iPad, sus opciones se ven un poco diferentes. Necesitan tocar su pantalla y van a buscar el menú de los tres puntitos que aparece con la palabra más o more en inglés. Seleccionen ese menú. Seleccionen donde dice interpretación de idioma. Después seleccionen español. Nuevamente silenciar el audio original. Y por último, muy importante, el botón que dice done, listo o finalizado. Ahora voy a compartir esas mismas instrucciones en inglés. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your meeting. This is just a reminder that, as usual, we have simultaneous interpretation available for you. So, if you're a monolingual English speaker, we do ask you to please select the English channel. That way, you can have that immediate interpretation from Spanish into English. If you're joining with that computer, you will see a globe-like icon at the bottom of your screen with your Zoom menu. Select that globe and select English. If you're joining with a cell phone or a tablet or an iPad, your options may be a bit different. You need to tap your screen and find the menu with the three dots with the word more. Select that drop down menu, select English, and then select done. Thank you so much. I can be added to the channel now.
Thank you, Tanya. This is Liz. Okay, I see a thumbs up, so we should all be set up to select our interpretation channel. And do let us know at any point throughout tonight's meeting if you are having any trouble hearing that interpretation. Please do unmute yourself and interrupt our conversation so that we can stop the meeting and make sure that you are able to hear and participate. I will continue moving through our housekeeping slides, and next we have our virtual meeting etiquette, where we ask for folks to stay muted unless you are speaking. And if you are calling on the phone, you can mute and unmute yourself by pressing *6. And if you have a question or comment, we ask that you raise your hand. And again, if you are calling in on the phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. Next, we have a review of our group agreements that I will just briefly revisit to help ensure that everyone has a meaningful opportunity to participate. These agreements are especially important given the limited time that we have and the number of voices that we have in the room. So first, our step up, step back agreement reminds us that if you tend to speak often, we ask that you create space for others. And if you haven't shared yet in the meeting, we encourage you to step in. We do want to hear from a range of perspectives and not just a few voices. On the point of keeping talking points brief and on point, we also agreed to keep our comments concise and connected to the agenda item that we are discussing. Because we don't have timed individual comments, it's important that everyone helps self-manage to help us stay on track. And when comments drift away from the agenda, it can make it a little harder for us to accomplish the goals of our meeting. Another important agreement is to challenge ideas or outcomes and not the person. We welcome disagreement, and it is an important part of the process. And at the same time, we ask that comments focus on policies, proposals, and impacts rather than on people or assumptions about intent. And as you are facilitators, part of our role is to uphold these agreements consistently across all of our meetings, both the CSC and the subcommittee meetings. So that means that we may interrupt or redirect speakers if comments run long, go off topic, or become personal. And if that happens, it is not personal and it is in honor of these shared commitments to make space for everyone. And as we've mentioned in these meetings before, it is a privilege to have the space and the resources to be here together and address air pollution. And we want to help ensure that public dollars are used effectively. So if you have any additional thoughts that don't fit in the agenda item for this meeting, we are happy to help identify an appropriate time or format to capture those. And we really appreciate everyone's partnership in making this a respectful and productive space. And on my last slide here, we just have the agenda. We will have our usual welcome and introductions before our main agenda item, which is an update on spray days from DPR. And then we'll have some time for any agency updates before we close out our meeting and discuss any next steps. And so I will stop sharing my screen and want to officially and formally welcome you all to our 14th Arvin and Lamont Pesticide Subcommittee meeting. My name is Liz and I am one of your facilitators tonight. And do let us know either by private message or unmute if you are having any trouble, as we are happy to help. At this time, I'm looking to see if our co-leads are here for any opening remarks, and I don't think so, so I will pass it to Stephanie from the Air District for some opening remarks.
Thank you, Liz. Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie. Stephanie Ng, Director of Community Strategies and Resources with the Valley Air District. I just wanted to welcome everyone to our first pesticide subcommittee meeting of the new year. I know it's been a minute, but I did just kind of want to share with everyone that, as is our usual practice, when we have agenda topics that kind of apply statewide, we do invite both our Arvin, Lamont, and Shafter committees here. So welcome to everyone. These types of subcommittees where the topics aren't necessarily our jurisdiction, we are really grateful for all the partnerships that make these types of meetings possible. And so I especially just wanted to thank the Department of Pesticide Regulation, specifically Juvenio, who's going to present today, for all of his support in making this meeting happen. I know most of you all are aware, and I'm sure Juvenio is going to talk about it, but it's been about exactly a year and just, I think, a few days, a year since the Spray Day tool was released to the community. So I'm really excited to hear an update that I know Juvenio has lots of information on. So just wanted to thank everyone for being here today and especially thank DPR for providing an update to everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is Liz. So I think we can get ready to pass it to Juvenio, who is here from DPR to provide that update on spray days. And as Stephanie mentioned, this is definitely an honor to have DPR here in this space. And this is a very collaborative effort that spans across multiple agencies and required a lot of community advocacy to make this happen. So we are really grateful to have DPR here to provide this update after a year of this work. And Juvenio, let us know if it sounds good to hold any questions until the end of your update. And maybe if there's any confusion or clarifying questions, we can take those throughout. Go
Sounds
ahead.
good. Thank you. Thank you so much. First, can you see the full screen of the presentation there? Great.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to take questions at the end. Feel free to, I guess, write them down or put them in the chat, and then I can take a look at them when I'm finished. Happy to answer all of your questions, and if I don't have any answers off the top of my head, I'm also happy to look into it for you and get back to you guys on any pending items you might be interested in. So with that, again, my name is Juvenio Guerra. I'm an information officer with the California Department of Pesticide Regulation. Primarily, I'm managing the outreach for Spray Days California. And yeah, it's almost a year since we launched statewide. It'll be a year on March 24th. So March 24th of last year, we kicked things off statewide, and we even had an event in Shafter to celebrate the launch. So it's been a year, and that's why I'm here today. We have some updated feedback and metrics and other data to share with you from the past year that might be really interesting to take a look at. So let me go ahead and get started. Before I dive into everything, I do want to let everyone know that we're actually right now in the middle of a public comment period. So we published the annual status update for spray days last week, and from the day we published, which was March 10th, all the way through Friday, May 1st, will be a public comment period on spray days. So we're giving people a lot of time to take a look at the annual status update, keep using spray days or even try spray days for the first time and tell us what you think. So that's ongoing right now, but I do want to say that whatever is discussed in today's meeting, so if you have any questions or comments, will not be part of the public comment. So we're not going to take a summary, or we're not going to take recordings and put them into the public comment. So if you do want to make sure that you've submitted formal public comment on spray days, I'll give you a link to do that at the end of the presentation if you actually want to formally submit your comment. So just FYI. So yeah, so we released our annual status update last week as part of the regulation that went into effect for spray days. We are required to provide an update every year. So every year leading up to the 3-year review of the system. So we have an update this year. We'll have another update at the beginning of next year. And then in 2028, we'll have the formal 3-year review of the system. So everything that we've presented in this annual status update is really helpful because it's the first time we're taking a look at this. And specifically the public comment period will be really important too, because it's the first time people will have formal comment on what they actually think about having used spray days over the past year. And in addition to that, we'll also be presenting this status update to DPR's Environmental Justice Action Committee. And then we'll also be presenting this to the State Board of Food and Ag as required by regulation. So you probably have the link for this already. If not, here's a short link if you want to access the annual status update. It's in English and Spanish, and it tells you kind of a history of spray days, how the system works, how things get into spray days, what information spray days gives you. It also gives you metrics on how people have been using the website, metrics on how people have been using notifications for pesticide applications, gives you kind of a summary of the feedback we've already gotten and a summary of the changes we've already implemented over the past year. And also some budget info in there and some additional technical details that you can dive into. So there's the annual status update, but that also comes with an appendix. So if you really want to dive into like county level data and just take a look at everything we've collected and gathered, it's all in there. It's either in the status update or in the appendix. And if it's not in there, feel free to contact us and we'll look into it. I also want to clarify that this annual status update only goes from the day we launched, which was March 24th, 2025, through the end of the calendar year, December 31st, 2025. So that was kind of the best way we could do it now, is just kind of show that first calendar year. Next year's report will show the full 2026 calendar year and so on, because it does take some time to compile and verify the data. So what you're looking at does not go through March, it goes through the end of 2025. Okay. And as a reminder, what is spray days? I think it's always important just to remind ourselves of what this is and why it matters. So over the past year, for the first time ever, Californians have had real-time access to notifications for restricted material pesticide applications before they happen. So it's a pretty big deal. No other state has any kind of advanced pesticide notification system in place. California is the only one. And it's also important to note that this is specifically for restricted material pesticides that are used in agricultural production. So it's really important for agricultural communities. It's something that agricultural communities have been requesting and wanting for a long time. And ideally, this will help these communities, stay better informed and make more informed decisions about how they go about their day if they know that there is spraying happening soon, for example. So we do this by having a real-time map on a website that anybody can go to and access and take a look at what's being scheduled or intended for use across the state. And then if people want, of course, they can also sign up for notifications. They can get notifications via text, via email, or both. And then in addition to the map and the notifications, we also have some context on pesticide safety and pesticide regulation in California, as well as like an FAQ page that has a lot of the questions that we've gotten over the past year answered. So, but primarily it's just to stay informed about, upcoming restricted material pesticide spraying in agricultural areas. And this is the website also here, in case you don't have it already. Okay, so diving into some of the metrics that we have from the annual status update. Again, this only goes through the end of 2025. As you kind of would expect and as expected, the majority of attention, the majority of traffic, and the majority of use, everything is going to that pesticide map that we have on the website. Overall, we've had about, in the past, for 2025, we had about 90,000 total views on the website, but over a third of those, about more than 30,000 of those, or around 30,000 of those, I'm sorry, were people going directly to the pesticide map. So we have other pages. We have the sign up page, FAQ, community health tips, etc., the homepage. But a third of the traffic and a third of the interest has been on the pesticide page. And it makes sense because all the info is there. You have your intended date and time. You can see it on the map. You can see recent applications, upcoming applications, active ingredients, pesticide product name, application method, etc., other links. So the map is, as you would expect, the go-to on our website. And these are some of those numbers. 98,000 total visits across the website, a third of them to the map, and about 28,000 actual individual users. So some of those users have been repeat visits. And I'm kind of only showing some of the highlights here, but if you want to get even more details, there's more obviously in the status update that you can dive into. I think what's interesting is that even though this is primarily meant for people that live around agricultural areas, we took a look at where where the website traffic is coming from. And it's interesting to see that there's also been a lot of interest from, larger, more urban areas that are kind of interested in seeing what's happening. So not all of the top counties are top agricultural counties. We also have some other counties that just have higher populations that have been going to the website. And a lot of that can also, have to do with maybe media coverage. Somebody saw the news and then they checked it out, or people that are just generally interested in environmental issues or monitoring, et cetera, that might want to check this out. So these are the top counties for website views. In order, we have Santa Clara, LA, Sacramento, Monterey, San Francisco, Santa Cruz, Fresno, Ventura, Kern, and Alameda. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Let me go back. Now, so that's the website. That's the website and the map. Of course, a percentage of those people will opt in and go through the sign-up process and decide to get notifications sent directly to them. For 2025, we had more than 4,300 verified text and email contacts that were registered in the system to receive notifications. 47% text, 36% email, and 17% of people that chose to get notifications for both text and email on whatever address that they chose. On average, each user is signing up for 1.15 locations, which means that most people are just picking one location, probably their home or work or school or something, but the average user is just using it to track one location. Although in the system, you can track up to 10. And then here, the image that you're seeing here is a sample text message that somebody would get if there's an application scheduled near them. And we've sent out 96,000 of these notifications to people across the state. 49 out of 58 counties got notifications. So that's a lot of notifications. Yeah, we have more details in the status update if you want to see the top counties and all that as far as notifications go. Okay. These are the top counties for folks that have signed up to get notifications. Now here you are seeing mostly agricultural counties, Monterey being number one, followed by Ventura, Santa Cruz, Stanislaus, Santa Clara, Tulare, Fresno, Merced, Madera, and San Joaquin. These are the top 10 counties for people actually signing up and choosing to get notifications sent to them. The map you're seeing here is kind of a heat map of where the notifications that Spray Days has sent have gone to. So those 96,000 notifications that I mentioned that the system sent out to folks, this is where they're concentrated. As you can see, Monterey County, Central Valley, along the coast here, Ventura, Santa Barbara County. So the darker the blue, the more notifications that they've gotten. And we have those numbers available in the report if you want to take a look. Also, we were able to verify with our IT team just how many outages the system had. So from the time we launched all the way through the end of the year, was there any moment in time when the system, for whatever reason, wasn't working properly? Maybe something wasn't loading or whatever it was. And 99.9% of the time, it was working just fine. So it's called uptime. So we had 99.9% uptime. And for the whole year, we only had 12 hours of total downtime that we are able to track and account for that the system had some kind of lag or issue or wasn't fully up. So I think that's pretty good. And also that same IT team was really helpful this year in implementing a number of enhancements and refinements and tweaks here and there to help us make this work even better. And, just keep in mind, this is a system that requires continuous improvement, but we are happy that at least it's been available and consistent for people that are using it. Okay, diving into some of the feedback that we got. So we get feedback from all kinds of different sources, people that we talk to in the public, people that email us about a bunch of different things. We also get feedback from the website itself. If you're on the map, There's a little pop-up survey that will ask you what you think and to rate the system as far as how helpful it's been. And then if you want, you can leave a comment. And our average rating for 2025 was 3.4 out of 5 stars. That's um, of based on 242 people that rated the system. And 111 of those people actually left written comments. And you can get some of that information um, in our appendix as well if you want to take a look. Um, and overall, a lot of the feedback has been about access and sign up, meaning more ways to access, more ways to sign up. Some people want indigenous languages. Some people want some kind of voicemail or sound recording kind of way to sign up, or uh, text to sign up options. So we've gotten a lot of requests for more ways to access and more ways to sign up. Some people want an app, for example. We've gotten more requests around the map itself and location. As an example, some people want more detail in the map as to what the landmarks are. Some people want exact location. Some people want to be able to track a larger area, even a whole county. Um, on the notifications, like I said, some people want to receive those in either indigenous languages or get voice recordings of some kind. And we've had requests for a number of other information and resources around restricted materials and other items that people might find useful. And so all of this feedback that we've gotten already and the feedback that we're now getting through this public comment period will be really helpful in shaping what the next refinements for the system will be and what the next priorities for the system will be, and will really help us plan where we can focus and what we can do for this year. So you can take a look at that in the report as well. And based on a lot of that feedback, we were able to make a lot of changes to improve how people were accessing the system. Right when we kicked off, we made sure that we had 16 languages available for notifications themselves, not just English and Spanish, but a lot of other languages, especially languages that are used across agricultural areas. We were able to improve the display on the map, showing more clearly where upcoming and recent applications were. A lot of folks had issues with confirming their address. We were able to do something on the back end to help that confirmation. Also, we created an option for people to use the map section as an option. So if your address is unincorporated and not in the system, you can pick a spot on the map and use that. And then we made some other changes to the content itself and how people could access that content. So already, just based on initial feedback, we were able to make some refinements last year, and you can see some of those details in the report. The report also highlights how we got the word out about spray days in the first year. We had a lot of in-person events, a lot of community events. We had 8 county fairs total, where we engaged with quite a large number of people. We did webinars online. We had some great help from community-based orgs as far as getting materials out there. And we had a lot of ads. We had web ads, we had YouTube ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. We had ads in the communities. We had radio ads in English and Spanish. We also had some Spanish TV ads for Univision in Central Valley and some Asian TV ads for uh, uh, Crossings TV channel, which is carried throughout California. And we really did our best to get a lot of this outreach material out there to folks so they can learn about spray days. Here in these images, you can see some of the outreach work. These are ads in the communities, storefronts, food trucks. On the bottom right, you can see an ad on Facebook. On the top left, you can see a fact sheet, for example, that was given to folks. And you know, our hope is that all of this really did help and influence how many people were actually not only engaging with the system and the website, but signing up. And you can see here this graph that counts the number of signups over time for 2025. So obviously, we launched the end of March. You can see it go up. We had quite a number of fairs and events during the summer months leading up to the early fall. And then as the events kind of trickle down, you can also kind of see it trickle down a little bit. But it's promising. A lot of people are continuing to sign up, and we're looking for more and more ways of making sure that that happens this year. And also, we were able to keep track of how many people actually completed signups. So in order to complete a sign up, you have to just verify that it's your phone or it's your email, and that's it. 90% of people actually did that, which is great. It's a really high number for getting people to sign up, as far as going through the two-step process for signing up and getting notifications. So just wanted to share that. And then looking ahead to 2026, again, I think we're at a really important moment here to gather all this feedback, all this public comment. So if if you have any thoughts, please let us know. We're continuing to make sure that the system is functioning as it should. We're continuing to look for better ways of getting the word out there this year. But we also want to focus on improving the map, improving how people use it, the navigation, making sure that people have more resources available to not only learn how to use spray days, but also about other safety or regulation context that they might need. We're making sure we're looking at ways of making this more accessible for people, just kind of doing what we can to reduce any barriers to getting people to actually use the system. And our media campaign is ongoing. It's actually ongoing through early fall. So we're looking forward to that as well. And again, this is the link for public comment. If you want to let us know what you think or what you suggest between now and May 1st, or collecting it. So thank you. That's what I have to share for now, but I'm happy to take questions. Yeah.
This is Liz. Thank you so much, Juvenio, for all of that information. It's really exciting to see how much this has been used across the state, and how you've been responsive to some feedback that you've already heard from the communities. Would love to invite our residents who are attending tonight to let us know what you're thinking. How is all of this landing for you? Do you have any questions? Was anything confusing, or is there any more information that you would like that was not presented tonight? Seems like folks might still be processing all of this information. Just want to make sure, yes, that folks have enough time. And I do see a couple hands have been raised, so we can go to Tim first.
Hi, I had a question regarding the map that was shown about early adoption. My question is regarding the color tone states that those color, or the graphs basically states that Kern County in the early adoption only had between 50 to 90 notifications sent. Is that correct?
Let me see here. It's a little hard to see. I'd have to check the appendix for you. It has the actual numbers for Kern County.
It's because my question was, how is the implementation is going through some, because Kern County and Fresno and King County are three of the largest counties that uses the most pesticides in the state. annually based.
Mhm.
So if notifications are low in this county, then that means our outreach or DPR's outreach to these counties has basically failed because both they have the largest by land and actual usage of pesticides. Kern and Fresno come in at number 1 and 2.
Yeah. So if you take a look at the top counties here, hold on a second. Um, yeah, Kern County isn't even in the top 10. And that's an area where we are looking for ways to do more. I mean, we did a lot of events and participation in Kern County, um, but we certainly can always do more. We ran a lot of ads in Kern County as well. I'm not exactly sure what the main reason would be for folks not signing up as much as other counties, but we have done a number of outreach in Kern County. Um, and it's one of those areas where you have low number of people signing up, but obviously high potential for actual day-to-day use of the system. So we welcome any ideas as to how to engage and reach people a little better in Kern County.
So wouldn't it I'm trying to think of how we could expand those numbers because I added in the chat a map of the actual usage of pesticides
Mhm.
in California for 2024. And that was released by DPR on its Environmental Justice Committee. And it shows how that Kern County and Fresno come in at 1 or 2nd based on their
Mhm.
usages. And I think overall, if these are the counties that use the most pesticides and notifications are low, or numbers of going notifications regarding pesticide is that either our message is not coming across about how this tool can prevent potential drifts or potential exposure to pesticides, and is it both that we're failing on spreading the word or the message is not getting to residents of this county. But overall, the work is in place, and I feel that we should expand a way to seeing what is the main issue within these counties, why the message is not being spread.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We have tried different strategies for most of the agricultural counties. We've had uh, TV ads, radio ads. We've also had community ads in the communities themselves. We've been tabling at various community-related events. We even kicked it off in Kern County. So it's something I definitely, me personally, as somebody who wants to make sure we're doing more on the outreach side, would like to explore. And Kern County definitely has a lot of room for growth as far as actually getting community members to sign up. And I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the effort the first year is just raising general awareness. Like maybe people aren't going to the website and signing up, but getting it out there that this system does exist and it's there and it's available. And so a lot of the effort typically for getting a new kind of tool out there, uh, usually in its first phases, is just getting people to even know that it exists and that it's a thing. So definitely looking for better ways to reach more people going forward. And I also want to say that personally, from a lot of the events and types of outreach that I experienced, I think a lot of it also has to do with being able to give folks a little more hands-on kind of help, showing them how to go to the website on their phone, showing them on their phone how to sign up, and just really that one-on-one engagement with a lot of folks in these communities goes a long way. And that's something I personally would like to do more of for sure.
Thank you. This is Liz. Appreciate the comment, Tim, and it sounds like there's maybe a suggestion there to explore some more outreach opportunities for counties like Kern that are not in these top signups but have a very high um, proportion of pesticides used. And maybe a reminder that, Juvenio mentioned earlier in the meeting that while this is an opportunity for you to share your feedback, that these comments are not necessarily going to be included in the public comment. So do really encourage folks to take the comments that you share tonight and submit those as public comment as well. And we can go to our next hand, which is Diana. Go ahead.
Sí, buenas tardes.
Yes, good afternoon.
Bueno, ya Tim dijo varios
Well, Tim
comentarios
already
que
said a lot of the
tenía
comments that I had
preguntas.
and also the answers.
Creo que
So I think that
una junta
in one
anterior,
of
no
the meetings
recuerdo,
before, I don't remember
se había
well, I think we mentioned
que iban a parar un
that
poco aquí
you will
en el condado
stop
de
a little
Kern,
bit
iban
here
a
in the
ir a
Kern
otros condados
county and you
hablando
will
sobre los
continue in other
spray days.
counties about the spray
¿No
days.
será también eso a lo mejor un
Maybe
problema?
that
Porque
is
ha habido
part of
muchos
the problem as well,
eventos,
because we
como
had
el
many
último que me acaba
events.
de
For
contar
example, here in Lamont, we
el
had
Family
the
Resource Center. Bueno, ya
Family
cambiaron el
Research
nombre,
Center. Well, I
pero
think they
acaban de
changed the
hacer
name
unos
already, but they
eventos
just had an
gratuitos,
event.
eventos
So
donde se
maybe
pueda seguir
in those type of
continuando.
events,
Y
we
sí,
can
el
continue
problema
doing that.
sí es,
And yes, the
creo yo,
problem, I
tiene que
think it
hacer
is
un
that
grupo,
many people
necesitamos estar uno a
we
uno
need
con ellos,
be
explicarles
one-on-one with you,
cómo se funciona el sistema,
explaining how
cómo
the
soltar la
system works
aplicación,
and how
cómo
to download the
implementarlo.
app and
Ese
how
es
to
uno
do
de
it.
los
And
problemas,
I
porque a
think
veces
that's one of the
nomás se les da
problems
la
because
información y
sometimes
ya no supieron
we just
usar
give them the
cómo
information and they don't even
implementarlo.
know how
Creo que ese
to
es
do
uno
it
de los
or where to
problemas.
go. And I think that's one of the
Una
problems.
sugerencia que
And a
ahorita se me vino a
suggestion
la
that I'm
mente
just
en
thinking
eso de
about
los
right now
problemas del uno a uno.
about the
Hay
101
grupos
problem.
comunitarios
We have
y
community
yo
groups,
como residente
and
de
me as a
Lamont,
resident of
estoy
Lamont,
hablando como residente
I'm
de Lamont,
speaking as Lamont
tenemos
resident.
un comité
We
aquí en
have a
Lamont.
committee here in Lamont,
Sería posible que
and would it be
no
possible
comprometerme,
maybe just
pero si
not get that
pudiéramos
commitment, but
tener gente que
if
esté
we could
interesada,
have
porque
people
como
that is
en caso
interested,
de
some people who are
soponerme y
interested
hacer
on
una
doing that, could
presentación,
you come and
aunque fuera un
maybe
grupo
do a
pequeño de
presentation?
personas
Maybe if
que
we
no sé
have a
si
small
les
group
pudiera
of people,
funcionar,
I don't know if that could
y
work.
llevarlo a los demás
And
grupos
maybe just bring it to the
comunitarios,
other
porque se
community
pudieran juntar en
groups.
grupos
So
de
maybe
personas y
a group
hablarlos.
of people
No sé si
can
eso
get
pudiera
together and talk
funcionar.
about
Creo
that.
que
I don't
sería
know if that will work. I think
que
that would be
pudiera
something
decir,
that
yo tengo un grupo de
I
personas,
could
quieren
say I
hacerlo,
have this group of
y si
people, they
alguien
want to do
dispuestos a
that.
venir a
Is
darles una
DPR willing
presentación,
to
no sé si
come
eso
and share a
podría
presentation? I don't
funcionar.
know
Es
if
una
that could work.
sugerencia.
It's just a suggestion.
Sí, muchas gracias. Incluso
Yes,
ese es
thank you
uno
very
de
much. Even
mi mayor
for
interés
me,
por
that is
este,
my
este
highest
año,
interest.
es
I could say that for this year.
trabajar el doble
Just
con
work
grupos
double with
comunitarios,
community
organizaciones
groups,
que
organizations
nos puedan ayudar a
that could
alcanzar
help us to
diferentes
reach
comunidades.
different communities.
Sí, usted
Yes,
puede tomar
you
el
can
correo electrónico
take
de
the
Spray Days.
email from here for
Cualquier
spray
sugerencia,
days.
cualquier
Any
idea, si
suggestion, any
podemos
idea,
llegar y hacer una
if we
presentación
can come and
exclusiva
share a
y tomar en
presentation
cuenta,
for the
con todo
people,
gusto.
and we
Queremos
will
hacer
be doing that
más
gladly.
ocasiones
We want to share more
ah,
presentations
donde donde
where
podamos
we
realmente
can
trabajar con los grupos y
really work with
enseñarles.
these groups and teach them.
Honestamente, fuimos a varios
Honestly,
eventos
we
donde
went to
dimos
different
bastantes
events where we
flyers,
share
folletos,
flyers,
pero quizá por el tipo de
and
evento
handouts,
no había
but
la
maybe
oportunidad de
because of the
realmente
type of the event,
sentarse el
we
tiempo con la
didn't have the
persona y
opportunity to take
enseñarle,
that time with the
explicarle,
person
sino que
to
quizá no
explain
era
everything.
lo más
Maybe
adecuado para alguien
it
que está
wasn't
tratando de
suited
entender
for somebody who was trying to
temas técnicos que
understand
requieren
something more
un poco
technical that
más de
requires a
explicación
little
o
more of
entendimiento
explanation or
para cada equipo.
understanding
Entonces,
what is that for and
con
what
todo
is it that you
gusto
need to do. So
queremos recibir
gladly,
cualquier
we will
tipo
be
de
receiving
sugerencia o
any
idea que
suggestions
nosotros
or ideas for these
quizás no
kind of
podremos
events.
recibir en ese
And you
momento,
can
claro está.
just email
Y
us to
estamos tratando de
this email
llevarles lo que
address, and we are
hemos
trying to
logrado este
keep
año.
our calendar
Porque sí,
the
ya nos hemos
more
dado cuenta de que mucha
full that we
gente
can, because we have
sabe
noticed
de Spray
that
Days
some
ahora,
people know
pero
about
todavía
spray
no han
days, already,
todavía no se han
but they
apuntado
haven't
o
registered yet.
por X
So I don't
razón
know,
no
for
han
any
dado ese
reason,
paso.
they
Entonces sí
haven't
quería que como,
taken that step yet.
como
So
llegáramos
we
más
wanted to see
directamente
how
con
we
estas
can reach
comunidades.
them more directly to those
Porque son
communities.
comunidades
Because
bastante
those are
específicas,
communities
son
that are very
bastante
specific.
pequeñas
It's
para
not just for
comunidades
any community, it's
que
for
están cerca de los
communities that
campos.
are close to
Entonces,
the fields.
no son
So
comunidades
those are
necesariamente
no
grandes,
communities
con bastante
uh,
población, pero son
big
importantes
per
para
se,
comunidades
but they are very
que
important
pueden estar
because
usando sprays.
they can be using pesticides close to them.
This is Liz. Thank you for the question and appreciate your response, Juvenio. It sounds like there's definitely interest and excitement in this group to have some more engagement with DPR on strategizing on how to do outreach in Kern County. I know you're familiar with our action item tracker that we have for our usual CSE meetings, and we'd have for these pesticide subcommittees as well. I'm wondering, Juvenio, if that is a commitment that we could add to this tracker to have some follow-up from your team between you all and the interested members of these committees to have another opportunity to talk about outreach and maybe plan some of these events in the communities.
Yeah, count me in.
Thank you. So we will go ahead and add that to our action item tracker. And just wanted to see if there are any other questions coming up for folks or comments or feedback that you would like to share. I'm not seeing any hands and nothing coming up in the chat. I see some more appreciation for your presentation, Juvenio. I'll just pause for another moment just in case folks are thinking of a question and you just want a little bit more time. So we can just pause for another moment or so in case anything is coming up. But if not, I think we can say thank you to Juvenio and the DPR team again for this presentation. And again, want to direct folks to the link that is shared on the screen where you can submit your public comment before May 1st. And I'll pass it back to you, Juvenio, if there's any wrap up that you would like to do.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate the feedback, especially around improving community outreach and not just community outreach, but improving how we're able to get people to understand and engage with spray days a little better, and actually going through the process of playing around with it, signing up, etc. I really appreciate that feedback, and that's one of the things we're looking forward to as the system does continue to grow and we keep learning from our outreach and engagement to try different things and just make ourselves a little more available also for any impromptu opportunities that might pop up where we can engage with communities more directly. So yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. And please go ahead and submit your comments.
Yes, this is Liz. Thank you so much again to everyone at DPR for all of this hard work and for coming tonight and providing this very detailed update to everyone. And we definitely look forward to seeing how this evolves over the next years. And yes, please do submit your public comments. At this time, we can transition to our next agenda item, which is some space for any agency updates. So we have this time to invite our agency partners or community organizations to share any urgent or relevant updates for either the Arvin, Lamont, or Shafter communities. So if you are here tonight and you have any updates to share, please raise your hand and we can call on you and invite you to share that update. I see we have CARB here, we have OEHA, and of course the Air District. So I'll just pause for a moment to see if any of our agency partners have any updates to share.
I'll just say hi, but I don't have any updates to share. Thank you, though. Appreciate the presentation. It was great.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, if there are no agency updates, it looks like we are wrapping up our meeting a little early tonight. And so at this time, I think we can officially transition to closing out. And we have a couple action items that I will read out. First, the DPR will explore more outreach opportunities for counties such as Kern, where there are less signups and high pesticide use. And DPR will connect with interested Arvin and Lamont or Shafter residents to continue some planning for community events and education. And if there's anything that we missed, do let us know. Or if there's any modification to these items, we invite you to share those as well. Updates from tonight's pesticide subcommittee will also be shared at the official CSE meetings for those who are not able to attend. And at this time, I don't think I see our co-leads here, so we can go to Stephanie for some closing remarks.
Thanks, Liz. Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie. I do want to see if there's interest. This is actually a practice we've done a few times kind of among our committees that have subcommittees to see if there's anyone interested who's attending this subcommittee that would like to give an update of how the subcommittee went at the CSC meeting to kind of share with the other, CSC members who couldn't be here about, generally what updates we heard. I just wanted to see if there's any interest in the group to bring back subcommittee updates to the main CSC meeting.
Great suggestion, Steph. Yeah, I'm not seeing any volunteers.
If this is Stephanie, if it strikes anyone's fancy or interest, please email me. I'd love to have someone from the subcommittee, share it. But of course, if not, we're happy to provide a few quick updates to the group as well. Great. Thank you. Oh, and then I guess maybe I'll just close that. I'll just provide my closing remarks. I just want to again thank DPR for coming to give those updates. I think this is these subcommittees and kind of this, this work that we get to do through 617 is the really special privilege we get is we get to get really awesome feedback from community members who are doing really important work. So I appreciated hearing kind of all the feedback that you all have on outreach because I know that we get to benefit from that feedback as well. So maybe as you all, I know we get lots of invitation to community meetings that we attend. So if you have those, meetings and events that are happening in the community, sounds like DPR and Juvenio would love to hear them as well. So in addition to us, sounds like you can go ahead and send them off to DPR as well. But I just want to appreciate everyone for sharing your feedback and your expertise. And yeah, I encourage you also to participate in this, the public comment period, because it's so important to make sure that, yeah, community members are involved in this process and that DPR can hear your feedback. Thanks, everyone. And Liz, I'll pass it back to you to close us off.
Sure. Thank you, Stephanie. And yes, thank you, everyone, and all of our agency partners for continuing to engage in this collaborative space. Have a good night, everybody, and do let us know if you would like to volunteer to provide this update at our official CSC meeting. And we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our Linguística team.
Buenas noches.
Have a good night.